We got Wyatt Kerr today with us, man. How you doing?
Good, man. Just been taking it easy on the rest day before the race weekend. So,
Okay, you said race weekend. You out there racing too, huh?
yeah. I got a little winter am. It's the last round here in Florida, so I'm gonna do that, and then nothing after that until my area qualifier, and
Hmm.
then back up north for the Pro Series up there. So
Okay. How's Florida treating you since you've been there, man?
it's been really good, man. I love this state. It's just warm all the time, great
Hmm.
for riding. Don't
Hmm.
get too much bad weather, and the sand's always really good. So
How long you been going back and forth?
This is my second year pretty much. Well, staying here for a period
Hmm.
of time. It's my second year, but I've been coming down for like a week or two since I was on 85. So like 4 or 5 years now. I've been coming
Okay.
down south.
Okay.
So
Okay. So Florida's treating you well. Florida's doing good, man. Treating you good out there.
yeah, it's been really good. Been cycling lots, riding with a bunch of fast guys, and just riding as much as I can, and kind of just getting the program started.
Hmm. So you've been racing, kind of going back and forth since you said you were on 85s back and forth, and you turned pro. Now you're doing a little bit of racing over there. Are you planning on doing anything major? Why you're over there? Are planning on coming back at any time in part of your career to get some American racing going?
I'd like to try. I'd like to try to do a couple nationals here someday, but
Mm-hmm.
that's kind of like not too far in the future, distant future.
Mm-hmm.
Last year I did the Freestone National. We were thinking about doing it this year, just with the travel. We're not probably going to do it. I was going to do the Daytona Amateur Supercross Day this year, but we'll see what happens just with the whole thing. So
Okay. I've been talking to your dad, going back and forth with him off and on. He says you've been doing some GNCC training down there. How do you feel like that's going to play a part in your motocross?
I think it's just different. Like it's just splits everything up and makes it a lot. I guess it just it kind of just helps you learn to ride differently. And I've
Mm-hmm.
been riding with Jordan Ashburn, so he's just really good at kind of the wood stuff, and he's really good kind of all around
Mm-hmm.
like dirt bike rider. So riding with him, I think it helps me just discover new lines, different techniques, and just kind of work on being a better rider rather than a better racer. So I think
Okay.
that'll come into play when the nationals come up, and just change my line choice more, be able to
Mm-hmm.
just do stuff that other guys might not be able to.
You feel that like conditioning, is it helping any of your conditioning as far as like doing longer, say a longer moto in GNCC? I wouldn't consider it a moto, but a longer training session, or as compared to moto, you're blazing. You got to do a 30-minute moto, but in GNCC you kind of got to pace yourself. Do you feel there's a difference in your physical aspect from it?
Yeah, I think so with GNCC stuff. Well, I don't know for certain, but
Mm-hmm.
I think it's more of a marathon rather than a sprint. Or like
Mm-hmm.
moto, you have the 30-minute moto, and it's basically just a full out sprint the whole time. So there's not
Mm-hmm.
a lot of rest there. But like riding with Jordan, kind of just it just kind of puts a different mindset to the whole like racing kind
Mm-hmm.
of thing. So like we did a couple long motos yesterday, and yeah, it's it's for sure takes a lot of heart to ride that long.
Mm-hmm.
So,
What do you consider a long moto out in Florida when you're training with a GNCC guy?
well, for me, it's like 40 plus minutes, I guess, is
That's
long.
that's a long moto.
Well, anything over 20 is just like, just survive pretty much for me. But
Yeah.
I mean, I want to get up to the point where I can like sprint past 30 and try to
Mm-hmm.
get there this year. That's the main goal anyway.
You've been working on like yeah, running and trying to control your heart rate and breathing aspect as well.
Yep, yeah. So like I'll go to the gym 3 days a week pretty much, and then lots of cycling, lots a little bit of running. We do a lot of rowing also, so we try to do as much of our cardio kind of on the bike as well. So yeah, just motos, cycling, lifting also. So it's been good.
Okay, so I hear you're out there, man. You're on the 350. You're practicing out there on the 350, but when you come back to Canada, you're going to be riding the 250. Do you feel like that's an advantage for you? Why do you choose to ride a 350 and race the 250?
So for me, what it feels like back a couple of years ago when I was racing my 125, my 282 stroke, it
Mm-hmm.
kind of feels like the same thing. Whereas like I'm on a bigger board bike that's heavy, like a little bit heavier,
Mm-hmm.
just has that much more power. So when I get on my 250, it just makes it kind of feel like a toy. So it makes it feel a lot easier to ride. And like doing a long moto on the 350 makes riding the 250 a lot easier. So
Okay.
I I kind of think it's an advantage, especially with like that brand like KTM, Husky, or Gas Gas. They kind of all have that middle step between a 450, which is really nice, and it's damn near the same feel of a bike. It's just got that little bit extra grunt. So
Mm-hmm. A lot of guys, well, I wouldn't say a lot of guys, but I know a few guys, even in the amateur ranks prior to pro, and even some of the pros were actually doing that. I think Mike Alessi was one of them who raced the 350 against the 450 guys. But a lot of guys tend to ride a 450, and then they'll race the 250, but they're actually faster on the 250. Do you feel that you're going to be faster on that 250?
yeah, so I did a couple lap times the other day, and I felt way faster on the 250. I mean, like not like maybe like a second difference a lap time, but I can ride
Mm-hmm.
the 250 a lot longer than I can ride the 350. So
Mm-hmm.
just the more kind of I ride that bike, the easier it is for me on the 250.
Okay. So it's obvious. I want to go back a little bit to our amateur, but it's obviously that a racer when he races, his goal as a youngster is to be pro. You know,
Hmm.
most young kids desire to be pro who are serious about motocross. Now that you went through those ranks and you're actually a pro rider, like, do you have any other goals within yourself realistically that you want to achieve as a pro rider? I mean, what's on your list, your bucket list?
Well, the main thing is I want to be able to kind of run that top pace, and I don't want to set my goals too high to where I can't reach yet.
Mm-hmm.
But I find like growing up, it was always got like I'm my dreams to be pro, dreams to be
Mm-hmm.
pro, and then once you, as soon as you get there, you're kind of just like, oh well, like I'm here now. What do I do? So
Mm-hmm.
big thing, big thing for me is just like change my goals, setting them differently. So like I like got I turned pro, and now it's kind of the top three. I want to be able to achieve that and get an overall in the top five kind of this year.
Mm-hmm.
Work towards that, and then move forward and just keep kind of progressing as fast as I can.
Mm-hmm.
Um, After that, I'm not sure. I want to do a couple outdoor nationals in the states and just see how that is, and then
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we'll just go from there. I guess.
Do you feel
Just see
that?
how.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
I said just see how long I guess it takes for me to kind of get to that next step, and that's what I kind of want to speed up a little bit. So
Yeah, I'm always curious that because once you hit the pro ranks, it's like there's it's difficult. So what do you feel like your biggest challenge as a pro rider has been since you turned pro?
just kind of like pushing the envelope. Like I had a couple get offs a little while ago,
Mm-hmm.
but like it's kind of just pushing your comfort zone and being able to kind of like move that next level, and that's the biggest thing. Trying to get used to that and just riding a little bit on the edge.
Mm-hmm.
So that becomes where you're comfortable, and then pushing a little bit further and just kind of chipping away at that stone, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Right on. I know your pops is in your corner, man. Like I said, I spoke to him a few times. A real cool dude. I enjoy his energy. I like talking to him. He's always putting you out there. It seems like he's been in your corner like a boxer's cut, man. How do you feel that that's helped you out in your racing?
I think he's always kind of kept me on the right narrow path, I guess. He's kind of just like you said. He's always been in my corner. He's always kind of had my back, and if anything did happen at the track, he was there for me. So
Mm-hmm.
really appreciate that, and just he's not going nowhere soon. So
Right on, right on. So you're heading to the Canadian Nationals for 22. That's what you're out there training for. You're gonna do a little bit of stuff behind the gates there. But what do you feel like some of your weaknesses and some of your strengths are before you actually jump into the 22 season?
so last year I struggled a lot with my starts. Like I feel like a lot of times I could run the pace, kind of like that third lap was kind of like I need to work on my sprint speed basically. So like the first three laps I really struggled.
Mm-hmm.
So that was my weakness last year, but I'm trying to work on that right now to where I'm like those three laps are my fastest laps on my whole moto. But I need to be able to run that pace the whole time. But last year I struggled with kind of getting that into it. So
Mm-hmm.
big thing right now is just working on starts, working on that first three laps, and then kind of just being able to sprint the whole moto. And that's
Mm-hmm.
like coming back from last year, that was where I struggled. So
Okay. Now, as a pro, there's things that you probably feel comfortable doing and things that you don't feel comfortable doing. Have you ever put yourself in that zone where you just made the uncomfortable comfortable?
Pretty much, and that's the big thing is like you need to kind of push that limit and
Hmm.
get in that uncomfortable spot, and that's what I've kind of been doing a lot since I've been riding here is just becoming uncomfortable on the track. Like any time where I could like just stay on the gas like another maybe like couple feet or a couple meters, that's
Hmm.
just pushing my envelope and just making that comfortable is kind of the hard part.
Okay. So, um, what else do I got for you, man? I didn't have too many questions for you today, but let's see. Where do you feel like where do you feel like you can improve? Just your
Um,
starts? I mean, is there anything else besides your starts? I mean, are you 100% comfortable pushing yourself out there the whole 30 minutes as far as doing a sprint?
yeah, like I'm pretty comfortable with that, and like coming back from last season, I feel like already in a lot better shape than I
Mm-hmm.
was prior to this year, and just what I need to work on is kind of just not really my technique. It's just like you said, just pushing that envelope, just getting a little bit
Mm-hmm.
further and a little bit faster, and just making that kind of that uncomfortable spot seem comfortable.
Okay. What's your typical day like out there in Florida, man, from start to finish?
So depending on how the day goes, like I'll get up at 6, either go to the gym, or if that day's not a gym day, I'll go cycle, whether that's 20 miles or 40 miles, just kind of go do that. And then normally go ride for a little bit, do my bike maintenance after that, eat, get to bed on a decent time, and then do everything back over. So we've been doing a lot. We've been doing a lot of cycling recently.
Mm-hmm.
And then with the race weekend coming up, kind of just today was supposed to be a recovery ride, which it wasn't, but we kind of pushed it a little bit too hard today, but it's all good. Depending on the weather is kind of
Mm-hmm.
so like today was supposed to be just a recovery ride. So recovery rides normally either on Monday or Friday before or after a race weekend, but
Mm-hmm.
midway through the week we try to ride like 3 or 4 times a week and then go do or go ride on the weekend as well, whether that's racing or riding. So
So do you have any downtime where you just kind of let your body relax for like one complete day, or you're doing something every day?
that's a struggle for me. Like that's one big thing I struggle with is like I can't really sit around. I need to be doing something all the time, and
Mm-hmm.
that's I don't want to say it's a bad thing, but I can't stop moving, I guess.
Yeah, you got to let those body heal, man. Your body. When you work your body out so much, there's a lot of health factors that come in when you overwork yourself. So your body always needs time to recover. Whether you're out getting a massage, you're out chilling in the jacuzzi, or whatever you're doing in the pool, man. You got to have that one day of recovery to be able to kind of build your energy back up, man. You don't want to run yourself flat. You know what I mean? So,
Yeah,
uh,
that's the issue, man. Is like there's been a lot of times where I'm like sore and tired, but like I just I gotta go ride, and kind of being sore and tired is just part of it, I guess.
yeah. Fun factor question for you, man. Two or four stroke. If you had a choice to ride, just there was no rules and regulations, and you felt that you was
Two
competitive.
stroke,
Two stroke,
two
huh?
stroke.
125 or
Yeah, I
250.
I love two strokes, and that was kind of someday when I retire, I'll be going back to a 282 stroke for sure. Like that was my favorite bike I ever had was a 282 stroke. I still have a 125 back home,
Mm-hmm.
but if I could just like if everything kind of went back to how it used to be with all two strokes, I'd have no problem with that.
Right on, right on. Well, that'll do it, Wyatt, man. I appreciate your time, man. Short and sweet. I want to get you back in here again, man. Once everything starts kicking off, dude. Let me know how you do this weekend. I'm curious, man. You're out there training. You're riding the 350. I like to see how that's because this is a new bike for you. That's pretty much right. You just
Yeah,
switched over to
yeah,
KTM, so everything's new to you, man. I want to see how you're
yeah.
doing on that thing.
Sounds good, man. Thank you very much. I really appreciate the
Any
opportunity.
Not a problem, Wyatt, man. I'd love to have you back on the show. Always a pleasure speaking with you, man. Even though this was the first time, but I know it's gonna be a pleasure speaking with you again and again. So, like I said, we build friendships, not interviews, man. So when you come on the show, it's just like moto talk, man.
Yeah,
You
yeah,
know what I mean? So,
yeah.
all right, buddy. Well, shoot, have a good weekend, man. Don't train too hard, man. Get yourself some rest and enjoy it while you're out. When you heading back?
I gotta fly home kind of in March. I got to fly home and then fly back, and then I'm gonna be down here probably at the end of April.
Oh wow! So you're gonna be out
So
there for a while. You're staying out there true to it, man. That's good to hear, man. Well, I
yeah,
wanna see you come back with some speed, some raw speed, and some stamina, man.
yeah, I'm ready for it.
Right on, man. Good talking to you, Wyatt, man. I'll talk to you soon, buddy.
Yeah, sounds good. Thank you
All
very
right,
much.
no problem. Anytime.